Hello everybody, Mcraft here, and I've got a quick tutorial for you guys today. This one came out of a necessity for me in my Minecraft survivalist world, which if any of you guys are following that, you haven't seen an episode in a while, and I've been pretty busy in real life, so more of those will come, and this is part of it. This is a fully automatic villager farming pod is what I call it, and you can use it for wheat, carrots, potatoes, and beetroots. And this is a pretty neat concept, I believe. And I needed this because I wanted to build a fully automatic farm, but I did not want to build one of those ginormous farms that produces a gazillion wheat and carrots and potatoes, only because I don't need that much. I would love to build one of those farms, but I'm going to do a little bit of villager trading, but I don't need that much. And honestly, these still produce pretty well. So I'm going to jump in here and show you guys the tutorial on how this is made and why it works. And honestly, I've seen other kind of modules or farms similar to this, but I improved on the ones that I saw and made it so it was fully automatic. There's no timers, there's no hopper clocks, there's nothing. This thing is fully automatic. All you need is the seeds of whatever you're going to grow and bone meal and a little bit of redstone components, and this thing works. And you need a farming villager or a brown coat villager. You guys know how farms work. I'm not going to get into all those details. If you're watching this tutorial, you are already into playing Minecraft, and you probably already know the difference between all the different villagers and which ones farm and which ones don't. But hey, let's hop into the tutorial, and I'll show you guys how this thing works and how to build it. Okay guys, I have this chest set up here with everything that you will need to build this farming pod in your world. This is all you need, guys, right here. This will build the farm. And of course, you'll need more bone meal than this, and you'll need more of whatever seed of whatever plant that you want than this. But this is what you need to build this farm. You can take your screenshot, come back to this, pause the video, and get what you need. Of course, you cannot get a spawn villager egg in survival. You guys know that. But if you do not know how to get a villager, do a YouTube search on villager farm, villager breeder, and you will figure that out and be able to build this farm. Alright, as you can see here, I've got this structure loaded in here with one of the structure blocks. I built this in my creative world and then brought it over here to this tutorial world. But you can see if I grab some seeds here and my bone meal, you come up here and you'll be able to see that these two dispensers are already full of bone meal, and then this dropper here is full of seeds. So if I plant this seed here and then I bone meal it till it is fully grown, yep, that is it, that villager, brown coat villager, this is a farmer, but that brown coat villager there will eventually see that as a crop that he can harvest. And when he does, there is a minecart hopper that is pushed into that dirt below him. When he harvests that, it will automatically suck up everything that he harvests down into the hopper below it and into the chest. And then in the process of doing that, this sends a redstone signal, which then will pop out one of these seeds for him to plant the next one. So he has a seed in his inventory, and something is not working right. We do not have a redstone torch. That is important. This is a burnout clock, which makes the dispensers dispense out the bone meal. And then what ends up happening, I guess in my structure block, for some reason that did not come through. But what ends up happening now, when he harvests this wheat, you will see that a seed pops out of here, which gives him one more seed to plant. But as that happens, it also sends a signal to that burnout clock, which makes both of these dispensers with bone meal in it grow the seed that he plants. And as he does that, immediately it grows up, and boom, we have an infinite automatic farm where the villager plants the seeds, harvests the crop, gets bone mealed by the dispensers, and boom, we have seeds being grown into wheat, automatically getting harvested by the villager, and he doesn't do it constantly. As you can see, he'll take breaks based on his AI. There's a little bit of a redstone glitch just based on timing and all that. There's nothing we can do to solve that. But you can see down here in the chest, whoops, we got those already in there from when I working on this, but you can already see there's already 10 wheat and 21 seeds in that chest. And that's just from those couple times of him farming this, getting harvested and going down into the chest. All right, now I'm going to show you guys how to build this, and then you can substitute the seeds for anything you want. If you want to use carrots, potatoes, or beetroots, or wheat, you can do that. So, hey, let's get started with how to build this thing. All right, here we go. Here's the first layer of the farm. This is really simple, the basics. You've got a chest that all the items will go into, which of course you guys know that you can take those items wherever you want, but as long as those items flow through that hopper there into some form of a chest or another hopper, you will be good to go. But we've got 3 blocks here with a redstone torch on the block beside of the chest. Then from here we will need redstone dust here and here, and then we will need our observer block facing from that redstone there across into here, and then we will need a block on top of that redstone torch there, which creates the burnout clock. We will also need our comparator there, and then we'll need that comparator to then face into a block here. So that is the second layer there. So basically, we need our hopper. So whatever comes through this hopper will be read by this comparator. That will go into this block and then power that redstone dust there, which is read by this observer, and then sends that signal into this burnout clock here. Okay, so there's the second layer. Third layer gets a little bit more tricky, only because we have to set up the minecart hopper inside of the farmland. So, all right, third layer, we need redstone. We need a block on top of that with redstone dust here, and a block. A block on top of this comparator here. We also need a observer block facing up from that redstone dust there. We need a solid block on this here with, let's see, we'll put the redstone dust on top of that. This area right here where this block is going to be where the water will go. So we'll need that there with a block. Second layer we need a block here as well, because that's where the water will set, right there beside the farmland, which will be on top of that hopper. Okay, in order to set up the minecart hopper inside of the farmland, we need to set up the rails. The rails need to be set up in this pattern. So if you guys don't know, one of the neat things about rails and minecarts with hoppers, or any minecart, is that if you make the rails go in a corner like this here, it will have this corner, but then if you break one of them, this stays as a turned or a corner rail. Now what you can do is then take the dirt or whatever block you want to put the hopper minecart inside of, is you can then put the hopper minecart right here. Now let me show you guys this. Now if we have this sitting here like this, there's a rail pointing into it, but if I get over here, it will not go into that dirt. But now if I come around to this side, push that cart, because of that turned rail there, it thinks it can go inside of that block, and it does. Okay, now I put a solid block here, and then I want to come over here and put our water inside of there. So now you have the hopper minecart sitting inside of that dirt block on top of that hopper, which is right back there. Okay, so now the other thing you want to do is make sure that if you're going to be dropping your villager in from the top, you do not want to till this farmland right here. And I will go ahead and show you why. Because if we till this farmland, okay, and now this farmland gets trampled, look what happens. The hopper minecart pops out of the farming land, and then you have to do this all over again. So make sure that if you're going to do this right here, if you bring the villager, you can bring the villager in from the side, or if you're going to drop them in from the top, do not till the farmland until you are done getting the villager in there, and then you won't have any problems with that. Okay. Now you probably do not need to have this block right here, but I put it there just for the looks of it mainly. Okay, so now if I put my water back in here. Now you can see that hopper minecart is inside there. If I can hop on this all day long and there will be no problems, but it's when it's tilled and then it gets trampled that it brings that hopper minecart up through there, and then you will have sad days and have to redo that. Okay? Alright, so now what we need to do is that we need to put the dropper, will go on top of this block right here. Okay, and then we also need a solid, we have the solid block below it. Duh. Okay, then we need our dispenser, our 2 dispensers. You're going to need one right there, and then you're going to need one over top of the water here. Whoops, I fall down. Alright, 1 dispenser there, and you do not need that block there. So these 2 dispensers need to be filled with bone meal. So I'll go ahead and do that here. Alright, so once that's done, you have your 2 dispensers full of bone meal. Basically what happens here is when that burnout clock runs, this observer observes this redstone dust here and then pulses this dispenser here. It powers this block, but then that also powers this redstone dust, which then powers this dispenser on this side, so that you have 2 dispensers bone mealing the crop that the villager plants, and that grows it up instantaneously, as we saw earlier over there. And then this dropper here needs to be pointing up. It does not need to be pointing to the side. If this dropper is pointing to the side, it will shoot out, and then as soon as it's shot out, what happens? But the system runs, and it will shoot the seed out, and before the villager can pick it up, it will go through the chest, through the hopper and everything down into the chest. So you do not want to do that. You want to make sure this is pointing up, because if it is, it will pop out and sit on top, and the villager standing here will be able to pick up that seed. Okay? Now if you're going to bring your villager in from the side, you can definitely do that from right here. Bring the villager in and get him locked into place, and then put your slabs. I mainly like to have a slab right here. That way I can see the farmland. I can see if it's grown. I can also, if I do not till that land until the villager is in there, then I still have a way to access that, and I don't have to do it from the top. To me, it's just a good way of having access to the crops to be able to grow it at the initial time, and also be able to check on it if I need to. Okay, the roof to this just needs to be up above. It does not have to be made out of slabs. I just did that for the ease of looking at this and be able to have, not have it spawnable, those kind of things. So if you're going to build this underground, above ground, however you're going to do it, just make sure this is enclosed in so nothing can get to the villager. And then also, if it's underground in any way, you want to make sure that you have light, which is why I put the glowstone right there above the villager. So then all you would have to do, fill this dropper up with whatever seeds, whatever you're going to grow. If you're going to grow carrots, you can fill it full of carrots, and that villager, once a brown coat villager is in there and you have tilled that land, he will go to town producing plenty of crops for you. And we can look over here. Look at this. Just since we were building that, we have 2 stacks of seeds basically, and a stack of 7 of wheat. So there you have it, guys. You guys have seen the results of how this thing works, and you can definitely tell that this guy is going to town farming wheat, and will farm whatever crops you put in there of the 4 that I mentioned. And like I said, he will take a break every now and again, and that is just based on the timing of the redstone and how that works. Every once in a while there's just a little bit of lag that makes that slow down, but he's still in there and he will continue to farm. But if you guys build this in your world, send me a link to the video, send me a screenshot. I'd love to know your feedback, how it's working for you. I'd love to know if you have any ideas or comments or suggestions. Leave a like, subscribe if you like this, and want to see more videos. If you haven't checked out my Minecraft Survivalist world, feel free to do so. There's only been a handful of episodes, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this helps, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Hope you have a great day.